Hello, everyone. This is Tom, the Lone Wolf Prepper. It is April 22nd, 2025, and it turned out to be a nice evening where the wind ain't blowing too bad, where I can actually make a video outside this evening. But we're going to talk about bushcrafting. What are your bushcraft skills like? Now, me being a lone wolf, I thrive on bushcrafting. When I was a kid and I'd go out to the woods, I just imagine how to build forts out of the materials that I seen, and I was just a little thing thinking of this stuff. So now that I get older, I enjoy the heck out of it. Being able to, being in the Marine Corps, even we went to cold weather training and we lived out in the trees for 8 weeks. Yeah, we were in 10-man tents for some of that time, but one of those weeks we had to build us a snow fort with a buddy, and that's what you lived in for a week. So anyway, that's just another climate where I can make myself a bushcraft shelter. There's Kiowa in the background. But anyway, I mean, I've seen a lot of stuff on YouTube or some strange stuff. Even some of them using which I not environmentally friendly at all, but that saran wrap and stuff, crazy stuff. But I'm talking about dugouts. If you're in a bug out situation where you got to move, if you can build yourself a quick shelter, by gathering dry branches off of trees and stuff, just anything. You have fallen trees that you can, put a tarp over to make a just a temporary shelter. That type of stuff. Okay, what do you need when you're out? What does a person need to survive? Needs shelter, food, and water. In bushcrafting, can you get all that? Anyway, it's just very important skills to have, because that used to be skills that all men had, especially when they tamed this country. Everybody knew how to build their own house out of logs and didn't have a problem doing it. I mean, just not using modern tools, but just what they had. That had been a lot of work. They weren't very big, but it was still a lot of work. But they had a roof over their head. Okay. I love the dugout idea. I mean, what I got in my head for my dugout when it comes to bugging out and stuff, and it's going to be nice. It's going to be a 2-room thing, kind of like a hobbit house. And I've seen some videos on YouTube where guys really made it look nice. But, that's just one thing. Being able to get yourself shelter, okay? Okay? And like I say, it depends on what environment you're in, depending on what type of shelter you're going to need, okay? But just be conscious of that. Bushcrafting skills are so important. You may say they're I don't know, they're outdated and stuff. Well, they'll be in date again. And then bushcrafting skills, which would include building your fire, that's a prepping skill. Can you hunt and fish and clean the animals that you killed for your food? Are you able to do that without poisoning yourself? Okay, and then wild vegetables and stuff, and the area you're in. Where I live, there isn't too much stuff that, would you say, besides grass and weeds that grow wild. Not like you're going to get many berry bushes out here and stuff, so we don't get enough moisture. But anyway, just bushcrafting skills, very important. I mean, now you got the medium on YouTube to learn bushcrafting skills, how to put shelters together. Okay, there's lots of different ways of fastening the wood together. There's paracord, and there's actually people that drill holes and use wood, not spikes, but wood dowels, make a nice strong shelter, and then making fireplaces and stuff. Go to YouTube if you're interested in that stuff. Good way to learn. Okay, I mean, I'll admit I even learned some stuff on there, especially when it came to the fireplaces and stuff. Kind of changed my ideas about stuff. Like I say, I can't wait to be sitting in my dugout, reading in my chair, read my book, Western book by my lantern lamp. I can't wait. Anyway, what a retirement plan, huh? Well, that's what makes me the lone wolf. But anyway, yep, get caught up on your bushcrafting skills. That's going to be very important when you go have somebody around to do the stuff, like building your house and all this other skills that people just don't want to do anymore. They'd rather pay somebody to do it. But, living out in the trees is possible. Man did it long, in caves and stuff. When we get back to those days, well, anyway, I don't want to go back to the caveman days, but the colonial days aren't going to hurt me none. But anyway, go to YouTube or whatever medium and check out bushcrafting skills, especially when it comes to making shelters. It'll amaze you, just amaze you, the imagination some of these people have, and they really were good. I mean, there was some woman I watched. She was over in Vietnam or Thailand or something like that, and she actually dug like a pit, an underground deal. It was cool as heck. Anyway, that's all I got for tonight. This is the Lone Wolf Prepper. I am out. Everybody have a great evening.